Hey Brian, and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about something that I think a lot of us feel from time to time. That feeling of being stuck in the middle. You've started something. Maybe a new project, a new goal, or even just a difficult season of life. You've put in the work, you've pushed through the initial challenges, but the end is nowhere in sight. You're just halfway there. And honestly, sometimes being halfway is the hardest part. The initial excitement is worn off, but the finish line still feels so far away. It's easy to get discouraged, to feel tired, and to wonder if you have what it takes to see it through. I want to share a thought with you today that has been a huge source of strength for me in those moments. It's the simple but powerful truth. God has carried you this far. Think about that for a second. Look back at where you started. Remember the doubts you had then, the obstacles that seemed insurmountable. Remember the moments you thought you couldn't take another step. But you did. You're here, right now, halfway through. That wasn't just you. That wasn't just sheer willpower or luck. The same strength, the same grace, the same guiding hand that brought you from the very beginning to this exact midpoint is still with you. It's like hiking a mountain. The first part of the trail might be exciting, full of adrenaline, but then you reach a plateau. You can see how far you've come, which is great. But when you look up, the peak still seems to touch the sky. Your legs are tired, your breath is short, and the temptation to just sit down and turn back is real. But the guide who led you up the first half of the path didn't just abandon you on the trail. He's right there, offering you water, pointing out the next foothold, and reminding you of the incredible view that awaits at the top. That's what God does for us. He doesn't just start a good work in you and then leave you to figure out the rest. The Bible tells us that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. Completion. Not halfway. Not 3/4 of the way. All the way to the finish line. Every step you've taken has been a testament to his presence in your life. It's the faith that says, God, you got me here. I trust that you will get me there. It's about leaning on his strength, not just your own. Your own strength will eventually run out. That's a guarantee. But his strength is limitless. Think about the stories of people who made it through impossible middles. David was an anointed king and then immediately put on the throne. There was a long, dangerous, and discouraging halfway period where he was running for his life, hiding in caves, and wondering if God's promise would ever come true. But God had carried him that far, and he carried him all the way to the throne. Joseph was given a dream, but his halfway point was a prison cell, forgotten and betrayed. Yet God had brought him that far, and he ultimately elevated him to a position of incredible influence, saving an entire nation. Their stories, and countless others, are not just ancient history. They are patterns of God's faithfulness. Your story is part of that same pattern. The struggle you're in, this challenging middle part of your journey, it's not the end of your story. It's the proving ground for your faith. It's where your character is forged. It is where you learn to rely on God in a way you never could if the path was always easy. This is where you discover that his grace truly is sufficient for you, and his power is made perfect in your weakness. So, what do we do when we're stuck in the middle? First, we thank him. We thank him for bringing us this far. Gratitude shifts our perspective from what we lack to what we have, from the distance ahead to the faithfulness behind. It reminds us that we have a track record with God. He has come through for us before, and he will do it again. Second, we ask for renewed strength. Not just physical strength, but spiritual and emotional strength. The strength to keep believing, to keep hoping, to keep taking one more step. Your job is to trust the guide and take the next step he shows you. He has not brought you this far to leave you. The same power that parted the Red Sea, the same power that rolled the stone away from the tomb, is the same power at work in your life right now. I love reading your stories. Until next time, take care and keep the faith.